I'm Christine Homerun, Superintendent for Hastings Public Schools. It's my first year in Hastings. Prior to that, I was in Royalton Public Schools as superintendent for 4 years. Dave assisted us there, and I probably knew this about myself, but it was made very visible to me when Dave first came into Royalton, and I'm very much a decision maker. Using this framework in my prior district worked fantastic, and coming into Hastings, we did a survey in the fall through school perceptions, and come to find out that there are opportunities for improvement on building trust between the school board and staff, and between the school board and the community. And so we have a community collaboration committee, a board committee, and so we decided to use one of these events to bring in our community to run the bases on how to improve this relationship. When we brought the community together, oftentimes these events in school districts may or may not produce a lot of people. We had over 60 people present, and we had a wide range of participants. We had staff there, we had city employees there, we had county commissioner there, we had parents there, and we had community members who don't have kids in school.
And the mayor and city council members
Mayor,
as well.
city council members, retired teachers. So it was a wide variety of people, over 60 people there, which is a pretty good showing for an evening on a Wednesday night.
Great show.
And not having gone through this before. They didn't know what to expect. What we found was an opportunity for everyone's voice to be heard through the app where it's anonymous. And the feedback we received that night was how safe they felt to say what they needed to say. The idea that we had over 100 comments tells you they had a lot to say. In that opportunity of doing it online, they can all get the time to say it. Can you imagine if you had to have everyone speak those 100 comments? You'd be there all night long just to gather information. If you're a staff person and you're talking about a relationship with the administration of the school board, you can say whatever you want and feel fine. Nobody can direct that comment back to an individual. That matters with community members too, for various reasons. Who they're connected to, who they work with, who they socialize with. So that anonymity allows for community members to be their true selves and not have to worry about others and their opinions of them maybe changing from those opinions. So then we came in with options and where are these opportunities to make us better? And so then come the myriad of comments again around what steps could be taken. I'd like to comment too, one thing we did strategically is I had our Director of Community Education and Communications be the facilitator of this night. I felt strongly about it not being a board member, even though it's their committee.
Or superintendent.
Or superintendent. And I didn't want it as a board member because we were talking mostly about board relations, and it can't be the superintendent because that role is different. That role has to manage all of this, and so sometimes just stepping back and not being at the forefront of that matters. And so our community director and communications director, she has both worked for us, facilitated it, laid out the ground rules or the norms for the meeting, and helped walk them through each step. And some of the elbow partner work that we thought was beneficial was especially for community members who may or may not have been quite prepared for, even though we gave the questions out in advance so they could think about them, whether people paid attention to that on the flyer or not, I'm unsure. So that opportunity to have an elbow partner to get some ideas ruminating kind of helps. The other nice thing is it's all on the screen, and so everyone's able to see those ideas pop up that can also trigger additional ideas. So then you can see what rose to the top based on all of those dots placed on those white papers, and we're able to then say we know exactly what ranks first.
And what was that?
It was all around building trust.
Trust and respect.
And respect. We had the same event or a similar event in January. We did not run the bases. It did not function in this way. It got extremely heated. Voices were raised. The superintendent was presenting the survey, didn't have an outside facilitator. Board members were responding in kind to community members. So you can see that it really rose to a level of emotion, and we couldn't keep ourselves in the work. The meeting ran over by 45 minutes. I finally ended it and some stayed. So none of that felt positive. Running the bases in this way was very different. First of all, we set the norms. We had a facilitator that was not a board member, not a superintendent, that really led the charge in a way that everyone understood how we're gonna run this. So when the comments came at the very end, not at the beginning, they'd already run through this process. They had gotten to be heard. They got it out. It's online. It's in a PDF. Everybody has it, right? So that's all been exercised. So when the comments came, which I was a little bit nervous too, they were respectful. And there was discussion around some opportunities. And so I felt like it went really, really smoothly and we ended on time. And that matters. And we were able to do that and everyone was able to be heard. And so that's why I felt this was so successful. And then can I tell you, we have had, board members and myself have had so many comments and emails and communication back. When's the next event? This was great. When do we get to do the next step? This was wonderful. Multiple, like, we're ready to go next week. Oh, geez, you know, usually it's a couple months that they're ready to come back. So the power that came from this process really made a difference. And as for a decision maker, and in this role, it allows you to get at all the information. You're still gonna get to a decision. It doesn't really take that much additional time. It's worth the time. And then at the end of the day, I think people can walk away okay. You're not always gonna get your way on things, and not every decision might be the one you wanted first. But at the end, I think people are satisfied. And I'll give one other caveat. We had students there as well. I think we had 3 or 4 students there. And one of them comes up to me afterward. She's in high school and she says, you know what I noticed? She said, communication. First, they said communication was going really well. And then, when they said what could be improved, they said communication. And she said, and then, when they, with the dots, look at how low it is. It's like really low. And I looked at her and I said, well, a good friend of mine told me once that you can be both right and wrong at the same time. And that's communications. And what we learned from this process is at the end of the day, it just doesn't rise to the level of what these others rose to. I can't say enough about the positive feedback.
To restore the relationship with your community by allowing people to share their perspectives and then actually reaching a vision together that was voted upon by the largest and most prominent community voices. Driving home, how did you feel driving home that day?
Oh, relief. It was wonderful. I felt good. I slept well that night. What I found even more powerful though was how quickly we got the responses saying, when's the next one? This was wonderful. Can we do it again? When are we doing it again?
So my dream for you is that whatever organization you're a part of, you can set goals at the top levels of your organization and then keep peeling back layers of that by training your individual department leaders in the science, have the technology to get to the people that matter the most, our stakeholders, our kids, our community members that we serve every day.